On Sunday evening, my partner 45M and I 40F went to the pub so I could pay the balance of our Christmas Day lunch for us and my parents. There was some confusion with the staff, but when it got to the point of nearly paying, he told me to go and sit down. I said no, I needed to pay. As I went to pay, he snatched my card out of my hand, out of my reach. I was so shocked I turned and walked away. At the time, that's what I was most angry about. He told me I'd embarrassed him. I went to the table and put my things away, and as I went to sit down, he'd put my card on the table. When he joined me, he was angry that I looked upset. I told him he needed to apologize for what he'd done and that for the first time in my life I could afford to pay for a meal for my parents and he'd taken that away from me. At the time, that's what I was most angry about. He told me I'd embarrassed him. We didn't speak again until 9 p.m. when I realized he intended to go back to work for the week without a word. He doesn't see what he did wrong. The best I got was it landed wrong, which doesn't cover it. Aside from everything, he humiliated me in front of the staff and an entire pub and made me completely powerless to do anything without causing a scene. Communication is a massive problem with him anyway. Why couldn't he say he wanted to pay and have a conversation instead of snatching my card? His excuse was I'd said how expensive the meal was. At this point, I'm thinking I have to end the relationship. I've tried, but his behavior had been terrible lately. I know he was planning to propose within the next 2 weeks, and I've had to tell him not to. A place I'd never thought we'd get to. He can't be wrong. He can't accept responsibility, and he won't talk to try and solve problems. So my partner and I have been together for 10 years, have kids and a house, etc., etc. When we got together, he knew that I was more kinky or experienced than him, and we were both fine with that. He likes what he likes, and I had no interest in forcing him into things he's not comfortable with. We still have a very fulfilling and active S3X life, and I love him with all my heart. A few days ago, we were hanging with some friends and the topic of hidden kinks came up and how everyone has a kink they find hard to talk about or are worried they'll be judged. As we are a close-knit group, everyone started sharing theirs. None of them were shocking or even somewhat surprising to me, and I knew they were not into the same kind of things I was, so when they asked about mine, I politely declined, saying, "Oh, you all know about my past exploits," or just steering the convo to someone else. My partner pressed a bit more, but I still played it off as not having one. When we got home, my partner continued to hound me about not contributing my hidden kink and got super upset and frustrated and wouldn't let up, till I finally told him, I have a CNC kink. I've indulged in this kink in my past before meeting my partner, and I knew it was not even close to something he'd be interested in, but I did not expect him to be disgusted, angry, appalled, I guess all at once. He was extremely angry about it all and started asking what the fish is wrong with me and why do I want to be abused, etc., etc. I told him he should have just left me alone and not pushed so hard to find out if he couldn't handle the answer. He's now not talking to me and is rethinking our relationship because he doesn't know who I am anymore apparently. I've tried talking to him, explaining that it's something I'd never expect of him or would never actively seek out doing behind his back and that it's not abusive. It's consenting adults participating in an act they enjoy. But in his mind, I was just trying to justify my perversion. What do I do here? I don't feel I've done anything wrong, but I'm being made to feel like a monster and it's breaking me. Am I just ungrateful? My boyfriend of 6 years, 22M, had been going on for weeks about how he was so excited about what he planned for me 23F on my birthday this year. He kept going on and on about how it was going to be so amazing and he was so excited. I genuinely love surprises and he planned for it to be a surprise, so I was okay with him not telling me and preferred it that way. He was aware that I planned on going on a trip during my birthday though, so he changed the date to take me to this place a couple of days before I left on my trip with friends. He told me he couldn't come on the trip. I initially wanted him to come. So we go to this place on Halloween. I'm in costume, by the way, and it's an action figure making place. The best way I can describe this place is a place where they take 3D photos of you or whoever you bring and turn it into a modeled action figure of the person. To get a toy made of yourself basically. When we arrived, he asked for 2 to be made. One of himself and one conjoined one of the both of us. The conjoined one was apparently my birthday gift, and the one of himself was for him. Here's the thing, if you haven't caught on, I do not have any interest in action figures or toys. I don't like toys or action figures. But guess who does? Him. He literally collects toys and action figures. These toys were extremely expensive to make, by the way. I believe $300,600 for a 9-inch toy. Am I ungrateful? I am not happy that this is my gift. It took everything in me to ask to not buy it, but something in me knew he would regardless. I don't feel like this gift was really for me, nor do I feel like it was an appropriate birthday gift. It wasn't even at least our anniversary, and he got me an expensive toy of me and him conjoined for my birthday. I have very mixed feelings and feel bad that it's something that I know I would never personally want for my birthday, but something he likes. Not to mention, my main concern now has been the fact he hasn't even proposed to me yet, and he has so many excuses about the expenses of a ring, etc., but had no issue dropping $600+ on an action figure toy, and bragged about how it was nothing to his pockets. I'm very aware he knows the type of stuff I actually like and care about by now. I just did not expect expensive action figure for my birthday, and I feel like I'd look like in a hole if I said anything about it. My boyfriend and I recently got an apartment together. We go $5,050 on rent and bills. Well, I still do all of the cleaning, and he also expects dinner from me every night. If I don't cook, he won't eat, or he will go get fast food. He got Taco Bell the other night and texted me as he left, "Why couldn't you just make me dinner?" I understand he's tired after work and probably doesn't want to cook, but I don't see how it's my responsibility to make sure he's fed every night. I get off work earlier, and I do stop by the store a few days a week to buy ingredients for dinner, but doing that every day has taken a toll on my wallet. He rarely pitches in to buy dinner. I love cooking and don't mind, but I find it ridiculous that I have to buy the ingredients all of the time. He only buys it on the weekends when we go to the store together. I don't cook as much now because it's costly. He gets upset. He had even told his mom that he needs to earn dinner from me, which isn't true. If he paid all the bills, and I had nothing to worry about, then yes, I'd make sure he's taken care of and fed. That would be my job. But I'm working and stressing over bills just as much as him, and it's not fair. Lately, I've been making dinner every night because I'm afraid of his reaction if I don't. It's usually just complaining, but I can't stand complaining. I don't know how to bring this up without him getting upset because we have argued over it before. It's like dealing with a toddler. He's even lost 15 pounds since we moved in because he just won't eat unless I put food in front of him. He'll just go to bed and pout the rest of the night. Usually when I don't cook, I'll just eat a sandwich, quesadilla, with fruit or veggies or anything I can easily put together. I don't know why he can't do the same.